Today, Chad Lyer is joining me. We are at Aero Service Team in Bismarck, also have a location in Dickinson. We'll get into how to contact Aero here in a little bit. But last time, Chad, we talked about frost in the attic and frost situations around the house. Today, we're going to talk about another thing that you guys are specialists at, and that is fire restoration. And we're going to talk about fires today.
Yeah, we're going around the world, and this is the one that creates the most problems and by and large is probably the worst one to have happen to you.
Let me ask you this, and I know you're not maybe a connoisseur of this kind of thing, but most fires around the home, are they set by accident? Are they electrical? What do you find that most of the fires that you guys work with, how do they originate?
Most of them start in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And I would say, depending on the year, different statistics, it's electrical and user air or whatever. Depending on the year, depends on what time of the year.
Sure. We talked about Thanksgiving and all.
Yeah, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, late night chefs at 2 in the morning. Those are the times you're going to have cooking mishaps.
That's when everybody thinks they're a culinary graduate and they can cook whatever they want, and the next thing they know, they got a house fire and they're calling the fire department, and then you guys.
Frozen pizza specialist aided by the fire alarm.
Exactly. They don't bake for 45 minutes, all right? That's something you got to keep in mind. All right, we've talked about different damages and different kind of things that you guys do, but we were just discussing fire is one of the most destructive things, not just because of the flames themselves, but there's so much more that goes into a fire.
No, the fire is just like this, it's carcinogenic. There's soot. It's not pretty. You know, basically every fire is put out by water. Well, we did like 2 or 3 segments on water damage. So not only do you have a fire with your stuff, like smoke damage, are completely gone, you have water damage, you have all these other aspects. But today we're going to talk about the soot and how damaging it is. Okay. So I brought some candles. Like normally when you have a fire, I will try and light these as quick as possible. You know, things burn. And, you know, you see a bonfire, you see someone burning leaves. Like, you have a bonfire, there's a little smoke. You have burning leaves. It's like, the fire's starving because there's stuff that's wet, you know, things like that.
Correct.
There's more smoke, right? So now, like, you have a house fire, like things burning in your house. We're just going to burn candles for our demonstration today. These are designed not to smoke. Like, people engineer these not to smoke, right? But when you start starving things for oxygen, now keep in mind, like, let's just pretend this candle is, you know,
a fire in a room.
And even this candle is 100% designed not to smoke, not to do anything wrong. You'll see in time that it's going to start running out of oxygen. You'll be able to see in a little bit the humidity start getting bought up in the candle area in that glass. And that's one of the things that really binds that soot to like different materials.
I see.
Is the humidity. Not only is it getting soot on it, it's also like liquid soaking it in.
Okay, so in this situation, that candle just burned out.
Okay, it just went out. So now you take a look at this. I'm not sure it'll show.
Yes, you can see.
You can see that all that humidity and soot that just shows up almost immediately.
That's from a sootless candle, too.
From a sootless candle, and a majority of that is humidity.
Right, okay, so let me ask you this. If there is a situation where there's a fire in the house and it's contained to one room, the worst thing you can do is give it more oxygen, I would imagine, by opening doors or whatever it is.
Yes, absolutely the worst thing you can do is opening doors. That's why, like, if you go to like closemydoor.org, I believe it shows you the value of like closing your doors at night when you're sleeping so fire doesn't spread throughout your house. Because we've talked about this, I think, before, open floor plans. Your house will burn much faster, quicker with the newer construction, open floor plans, versus what used to be there.
Okay, so in essence, sleep with your bedroom door shut.
All of them, yep. And it keeps helping the flame spread down.
Okay, what about smoke detectors, fire detectors, things like that?
And check them like twice a year, you know, they beep if they're not working, but it would be better if you are proactive and don't wait for the dummy light. It's kind of like your car, like going to get the oil change before it tells you to do it.
Here's the thing about those beeping smoke detectors. Yeah, it'll warn you which one is out, but it takes you about a day and a half to find out which one is actually beeping. You stand underneath and go, nope, it's coming from over there. Nope, it's coming from over there. All right, you've got a demonstration here too about what kind of corrosion and things like that happen.
Yeah, this tool was in a shop garage fire, and obviously they're the same tool. Neither of them have been cleaned. This one just came from one of my trucks. It's a water damage tool, so it's got drywall dust and stuff on it. But you can see by the coloring on these that this is obviously sooty. but it doesn't even really come off on your fingers. It's just super ingrained into it.
Yeah, exactly.
The heat pressed into that. And the thing that we talked about, the condensation of a fire, well, if you look at the blade, I mean, these are pretty similar blades on these oscillating tools. I know they are both painted, and you can just see how it actually even ate through the paint coatings and got down and just rusted that metal out.
It's amazing what it can do. All right, you have a fire in your home. Obviously, the first call is to the fire department to get the fire out.
Yep.
What are the steps after that? Where do you guys come in?
The first step is, like, we call it mitigation. You know, stopping things, like making sure that the house is ventilated, which the fire department generally does. And then it's kind of picking things that are of high value, sentimental value, things that need immediate action or they're not going to be salvageable.
Okay, you're talking they've already been damaged, but you guys can work on it or whatever to try and restore it.
Yeah, like if this tool would have been cleaned
Right
within
away.
hours, it probably wouldn't have gotten this rusty.
Got it.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So
yes.
if you have like
you
some,
said, don't wait until the car light comes on that you need an oil change. Keep an eye on the mileage, right?
so if you have things that you're very like worried about, like something that your great grandmother made and it's white and it's got a mark on it from soot, that's something you want to probably have a professional tend to as soon as possible instead of waiting days down the road, or anything like guns, things like that.
And that's something you guys do.
Absolutely.
Okay. What are some other steps that a person should take as far as, because then there's water damage or smoke damage, you guys come in as far as the restoration. Where does that go?
Well, with the restoration, the nice thing is most of the restoration companies in our market, they kind of do things full service for the most part, where they'll help with the adjuster and the insurance company if you have insurance, and to deem like what can be saved, what can't be saved, because generally you can clean things for 20% of like what it costs to replace it, but sometimes obviously like this tool, I think we're a little bit too far gone.
Okay. Fire department first, your insurance company probably second, Aero Service Team third.
Yep, either way, yes, on that end, yes.
Okay. What do you want people to walk away with? We're under a minute here. What do you want to make sure that people understand as far as fire?
That there's a lot of things that happen pretty fast, and the main thing that I would recommend is getting a professional on site sooner than later, so that they can help you, guide you through the process, even if you don't choose to use them, on what's important like now, because there's no two fires that are exactly the same.
I would imagine you see all kinds. All right, where do we find Aero Service Team?
You can go to our website, aeroserviceteam.com. Our office is in Bismarck and Dickinson. You can call us at 223-9249.
Chad, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Always nice to see a demonstration that just gives you a little visual as to what you're talking about and the importance of trying to suffocate a fire before it spreads.
No, it got me to the dollar store this morning.
There you go. All right, we're taking a